Hi everyone, it's Vicky here, and today I'll be using these two stamp sets by the Alleyway Stamps. These are the Speakeasy and the Tutti Frutti. I'll be making a shaped card today, so I've cut out these two pieces using my Spellbinders. These are Spellbinders Nestabilities, and they are the reverse wonky rectangles. I've used the larger one, and you can always find the link below in the details area if you're watching on YouTube, or on my blog for more details on the supplies that I'm using. So now to create my shaped card, I'm using my Martha Stewart scoring board, and I'm just making a score line at the top of one of the two white pieces. I'm making sure that I have applied enough adhesive on the flap, and now my shaped card is ready. I'll put that aside and start working on my focal points. From the Tutti Frutti set, I'll be stamping two of the fruits, the peach and the cherries. I'm using black ink. You can use any black ink you like for this technique that I'll be using later on. I just had my Memento black ink pad close by, so I've used this one. Now I didn't stamp the cherries quite well, so I'm stamping it again. And now that I've stamped my images, I'll go ahead and color them. One of my favorite ways to color my images when I don't do paper piecing is using my distress ink pads to color them with my finger dabbers. You can find links below for the finger dabber that I'm using, as well as the case that I'm storing them. Now the idea is pretty simple. You just use two different distress ink pads, one lighter and a darker one. So I have applied first the lighter color, and now with another finger dabber I'm just applying some shading here and there. It's very easy to blend, and I think that distress ink does all the work for you. I've used Spiced Marmalade as my lighter color and Rusty Hinge as my darker color for the peach, and now I'll use Peeled Paint to color the leaf. And finally I'll use Vintage Photo, and now my peach is ready. I'll go ahead and use my scissors and cut it out. And here is my final piece. Now for the cherries I'll do exactly the same technique, but this time I'll be using Festive Berries for my lighter color and Fired Brick to do the shading. For my leaves I'll use Peeled Paint again, and when I'll be cutting out the cherries, I won't bother for the stems. I'll just go ahead and cut out the two little cherries and the leaves. So now that I've cut out all my little pieces, I'm using this authentic paper pad. This is the Fleuris collection, and I'm going to use this green pattern paper, as well as this one that has a newsprint design. So I'm using the larger die, and I'm going to cut out one shape. This will cover up the whole of my card front. And now I'll go ahead and use two of the dies, one nested inside of the other. I'm using the two larger ones, and I'll just cut out a border. I've used Distress Ink Peel Paint at the edges of my border just to bring everything together. This is the same color as my leaves. And now that all the elements of my card are ready, I can go ahead and assemble my card. I'll apply adhesive at the back of my green border, and I'll stick it on top of my newspaper pattern paper. And then I'll stick this using adhesive at the back on top of my card. This will cover up my card completely. Now the design I'm going for would work great on this card, whether you put it a portrait or landscape, as you can see here. But I've decided to go the other way, so I'll just show you how it would look with the sentiment on top. So once I've decided the placement, I'll use again my Memento black ink and stamp the sentiment at the top right corner of my card. Then I'll use tape adhesive at the back of the fruits and just stick them down. Oh, by the way, this sentiment is from the Speakeasy stamp set. And I'm going to stick the peach first, and then I'm going to stamp the cherries on top. I need to do that because I don't have the little stems. So I'm stamping them there, and then I'll go ahead and paper piece the little red fruits as well as the leaves. Now the Tutti Frutti stamp set comes with these three little faces, and I'll go ahead and use the two happy ones. I'll be stamping faces on the cherries as well as on the peach, and I think that will make the card more fun and will match my sentiment. I thought that the border needed something more, and that's why I'm using my white gel pen here to define the border by adding some white stitching. And as I'm doing the white stitching, just to let you know that in the supplies area, I've also linked the camera that I'm using, just because I get a lot of questions asking me about my camera or about the camera arm that I'm using to hold it in place. So make sure to check out the supplies if you are wondering about my setup. And a very quick video of my craft room is available on my Instagram feed. Now, although I never do something in the inside of my cards, I just thought that it would be so much fun to stamp that little face inside. And now to finish off my card, I'm going to use my Wink of Stella glitter pen and go all around the border just to add some shimmer. And that was the card for today. I hope you had fun and got inspired. Thank you all for watching.